Hi, and welcome to the Love Learns podcast. My name is Dionne Zara, just your average girl wishing to learn more about love and relationships. As a young girl, I always dreamt about my wedding day, and to be fair, I still do sometimes. With many couples around me, I quickly came to realise love isn't as straightforward as the movies make out. So I thought I would have conversations with couples who made it past happily ever after to learn more about love. And when I say love, I don't mean like the movies and fairy tales, but I mean LOVE, learning to be open, vulnerable, and empathetic. So if you're ready to learn, unlearn, and discover love through couples, you're in the right place. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Love Learns, where we learn, unlearn, and discover love through couples. This week we have the beautiful Anna and Justin, who were doing long distance between India and London, UK. So yeah, guys, we've got a bit of a treat. Their story is a little bit different, and you'll figure out why not too far into the episode, to be honest, when they start telling us about their story. But yeah, I'm super excited for you guys to hear it and just to learn more about another type of relationship and how things work. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the episode. And yeah, guys, comments below will be great if you just let us know what you guys are looking for, what you want. We'll kind of find couples to fit the niche of what you guys want to know, and ask questions as well. If you want me to ask questions to the couples, I'm happy to do that. So just let me know. So let's say hi to Justin and Anna.
Hey, hi Dionne. Hello everyone.
How are you guys?
We're doing good. Thanks. How are you?
We're good, thank you. I'm good. How did you guys meet? Give us a little bit of a background between how you met, how you guys got to know each other.
Sure.
You want to go?
Gonna be me as well. So we met on a dating app. It's more like a matrimonial app that we have back home, and it connects single Christians, specifically the South Indian Christians. So we matched on that app. And then we started talking, and also turned out we had a lot of mutual relatives, so common relatives, and things sort of took off from there as well. And Justin happened to be coming down 3 weeks later to India. He was in the UK and I was in Bombay, and he happened to be coming down to India for Christmas 3 weeks later, and so he decided to come down to Bombay as well. And we met then for a bit, for a couple of days, yeah.
A couple of days.
And then,
Then we continued talking.
We continued to talk, and we also met up once in between.
Yeah, we planned a holiday.
Yeah, we planned a holiday so that we could, get some time to get to know each other much better. But, things were a bit different for us because our families had already decided that, that we would have a wedding in May, 6 months later. So,
wow.
So before that, we decided to just meet anyway, and halfway, because, the distance is quite a bit.
Yeah.
So Justin couldn't come down all the way to India.
It's a 9-hour flight.
Yeah,
9-hour flight. Yeah.
I couldn't go to the UK because of, the visa issues and things like that. So we decided to meet halfway, and which was in Turkey.
Oh, nice.
And we had, almost a week?
5 days. 6 days.
5 or 6 days.
6 days in Turkey.
And yeah.
City of Istanbul. We spent 6 days in Istanbul. It was magical.
Yeah. And actually.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
So we did long distance for about 6 months, you could say, because we started talking on December 11th.
Yeah.
And we got married on May 11th.
Wow.
So yeah, we basically did long distance for 6 months, and then I moved in July. So that was what, 2 more months of long distance. But yeah.
After marriage, 2 months, and then she came down to UK on July 11th. July 11th, right? Yeah, 11th is like kind of important
day.
Yeah.
So you met on December 11th, and then you got married on 11th of May.
Yeah.
Okay. And when did you guys meet in Turkey?
March. Yeah.
March. Okay.
20th, around 20th of March.
Yeah.
19th, 21st of March.
Okay. So would you consider yourselves an arranged marriage or not really arranged marriage? Like, or a mix of the two?
I would say arranged in a kind of way. So because when I went to meet her in Bombay, when I went to India, my parents came along with me.
Yeah.
So we did have, me and Anne met before for like maybe a day or two. And then our parents met, like my parents went to meet her parents.
Yeah, they came over to my place. So it was, very arranged marriage kind of a situation.
Yeah. But I would say arranged in a way that we spoke first, and then once we both kind of
we were comfortable,
we told our parents that we are fine.
So it's kind of like a mix of two worlds, isn't it? Like a kind of like
we make it our own. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's awesome. Honestly, like it's so rare to hear stuff like that, but that's great. What did you like? How did you guys feel when you met separately from everyone else in Turkey? Like, how did you guys feel? What was the vibes that you guys were giving and getting from each other?
It was like a fairy tale. It was really beautiful. So I was still a bit, I was very conscious of the fact that I haven't spent time with Justin enough to be able to, be standing at the altar and think that, okay, I know him really well. And because that's what everyone thinks about, right? That you always hear that your friends or the people have dated for like at least a year before they decide to get married. And this was something that I hadn't thought that I would be doing. So that's something that would happen to me. But, everything seemed so right. But still, I had that huge block in my head that I haven't spent enough time with him face to face, like, together. We've talked a lot over calls and video calls and things, but we've not really spent time together. So having those 5 or 6 days together was the best thing that we've done for our relationship. And it really helped me to, process everything, to really calm down and say, okay, I'm ready to do this now. So, like get married now. And I'm fine. I've made my peace with it, and I think I've made the right decision, and I have. So, so yeah, for me, it was, I needed that. Long distance, you can talk and everything, but the kind of interaction that you have with someone when you're with them, that's a totally different thing.
Yeah. And you guys had quite a large like time difference as well.
Yeah.
How did you guys manage that?
Oh, I think on weekdays.
It was weekend.
Weekdays we barely, like, I think I would be already at work and working in the thick of things in the morning.
That's when I get up.
That's when he wakes up. And then we're just like texting, and I would take time out. I remember I would hold myself up in a conference room so that nobody else can hear me talking when I'm in the office. So I'm talking to him for an hour until he leaves to work and until he reaches work. And then after that, we're cut off until he's done with work and I'm ready to go to bed. And we barely get like 15 or 20 minutes to talk because
5.5 hours difference.
Yeah, 5.5 hours difference during that time because it was still the daylight saving.
Wow.
It was quite difficult on weekdays. So we make up for all of that on the weekends and we talk all day long on the weekends. Video calls or Saturday, Sunday. Yeah.
Most of the time. So on Saturday, Sunday, it would be I would have her on my side as a phone.
Yeah.
So she would be on the phone. So whatever I'm doing, she's there, but on the phone. Because WhatsApp was free, video call, thank God it was free.
Yeah, technology.
Yeah, it's free. So she's there on the phone next to me. So we just been, it's like we're not physically having her, but on the phone here.
Yeah, We're just together doing everything, whatever we have to do over the weekend, but we're on the call the whole time. So that's how we managed, talking. Yeah.
That's so good. What about like being in like you guys got married in May, and then from May to July before Anna came to the UK. How was that for you guys? How did you transition from that?
So I think after the wedding, we took a trip. We took a trip to Japan, and so we were together for 2 weeks after. And then Justin went back. And then it was just a matter of when my visa would come through, because Dolly resigned at work and things like that. So all of those things were kind of set. So it was just it was just a matter of time that I knew that, once the visa comes through, I'm going to be moving. So we had that. We had a time limit to that. So we knew that, in a matter of 40 days or something, things are going to come through, and then, I'm going to eventually move here. So, I think we continued doing what we were doing earlier.
Yeah. It became a norm.
It became like this ritual that you wake up and then wait for him to wake up in the morning, and then, talk and things like that. So it was not any different.
Yeah.
Only when I moved here, that's the married life struck. Yeah, until then it was still
even after marriage, that 2 months we would feel like we were still dating.
Yeah, we felt like we were still dating even then. But the actual, married life only started in July for us.
And what did that married life look like for you guys?
It's been really, I think for Justin more so. For me, it was, I've always lived with my parents, and so lived a pretty sheltered life. And so I moved here. But for Justin, I think, he's lived here all by himself.
Yeah, I was, it's like a bachelor pad. So me and I had my another friend who was staying here. So we both were staying as like bachelors in this house. It's like more like a bachelor pad. So I wanted to make it ready for her to come, but then I couldn't do much. She had to come and do all the changes. But it doesn't, it's not like once Anne came down, like it took some time, but we had to change, settle down like a family, and settle down, like get everything, the house arranged.
House arranged, sure, that too. But we also, got into a rhythm of being together. I think for us, it wasn't that hard. I don't know what other couples go through, but I've heard quite a few. But for us, it wasn't that difficult to get into a rhythm together. It was just you feel like it was part of God's plan. So it just sort of fitted together. So you just like come together, and like you don't feel that it's a lot of work. Just sort of get together as friends. It's just a very easy. How do you say?
Easy fit.
Yeah, it just seems like a lock and key fit. It's just
that's not the changes. There wasn't much changes, I would say.
There was no compromise, except for the fact that I had to move all the way here. Yeah, but in terms of personalities, or it just seemed like a nice. I felt more anchored in my life. That was the sort of, even though I had left my parents, my entire setting of my life, I was literally uprooted from when I got here. I still felt like I was anchored to something really strong and have a good foundation. So it just gave me a peace of mind. So
just falls in place. So that's kind of.
But I think for us it just worked out. Like it just like each piece just kept falling into the right place, and then it just worked out.
That's awesome. Was there anything that you guys realized when you got together that you were like, you needed to work on this, or something in the relationship that needed to like a little bit more focus on when you guys finally got together?
Mm, what do you think?
It's that okay? Mostly it was for me. It was because I was staying here and I was staying alone as a single, so I wouldn't do much of a communication like oh today I have to stay back at work or all
Yeah.
that where the extra communication is there. That just got changed. So because now if I would stay back at work, I message Anne and say that oh I'm gonna be a little late or I may not come. I may not be able. I'll be late for dinner or so that pattern of communicating means letting her know that because I have to let her
Yeah, he was not answerable to anyone
before.
back home, right? He just,
Yeah, because I was
yeah, he was just all by himself.
I came to UK when I was 22 years old, and for almost 10 years, 8 years, it was like a single life for me. So parents wasn't here, so it was just me alone. So I didn't have to tell anyone or communicate with anyone that oh I'm going to be late or I'm going here or I'm going to be there or what is happening. So that kind of took a little bit of time, but it can kind of eventually sink in. So it's just like a normal like you need to talk to maybe a friends the same way. Just you need to let that communication come in. So
Yeah.
initial communication takes some time, but it kind of flows in later on. So then becomes a norm of
Yeah.
life. So that kind of thing, the communication part where I have to be accountable and not accountable,
Yeah,
accountable,
yes, yeah.
to everything I do. Yeah, so that kind of things. But it was good. But it was for the good, so it was good.
Yeah, you like having that.
Actually, yeah, that's what I missed that, and I didn't realize that I missed it. Like I had to talk to someone, so that kind of yeah, it
Yeah.
was good.
That's
Yeah,
awesome
so
to hear.
aside
Go on,
from
Anna. Sorry.
that, yeah, I had to move, you know, pack, lock, stock, barrel. Okay, yeah, other than that, I don't think. And then, the whole career switch and things like that. But relationship wise, I've, I haven't felt that I've had any conflicts as such, not as yet. Maybe sometime down the road, maybe.
Yeah.
But so far, so good, yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. And Anna, for you, you've come from a life where you were living with family and everything was quite like it was you and your family as a unit. How did it feel, or like how did you adjust to moving from that kind of environment to just you and your husband in another country
Oh,
all by
yeah.
yourself?
Really hard for me, that part, because was literally I would only work the whole time, and I would depend on my parents for everything, down to getting food. Like my mom would literally hand over a plate to me with food, saying, here's your food and eat. And because I would work long hours, and so to get out of that kind of a routine, to come here and think that, oh my God, I'm responsible for whatever I need to do. And from that kind of a sheltered life to the actual adult grown up life was a huge switch. So Justin takes care of, a lot of things because he's been here so long. So he's used to the kind of life. And for me to get used, but Justin's been helping me a lot with everything. So that didn't take a long time. So I would say it was a bit tough to get into that kind of mindset that, okay, I need to wake up every day, we need to decide what we're going to eat, because that's down to us. No one else is going to make those decisions. So it's not going to magically come out of somewhere. Yeah, I know, even though I wish it would, but
Yeah, sometimes we get up in the morning and say, if we get up late in the morning, you say, oh,
yeah.
breakfast. If so, I wish someone had breakfast.
Yeah. So those kind of things, you just learn to plan. I think I've gotten the routine of planning everything. That's what I do all the time. I would do that with work, and I've just brought that into my personal life as well. So yeah, just plan what you're gonna do the next day. And uh, so far, yeah, we've had a few hiccups here and there, but mostly, yeah, we try to manage that. But because we do it together, like it's not like everything falls onto me or anything like that. He's been very helpful with that aspect of always, if I'm doing anything in the kitchen, he's always like, okay, okay, I'm coming. Just don't do it yourself. I'm coming. I help you. So,
Even though if I'm not that great at cooking, but I like the chopping and all
yeah.
that.
So he chops and I cook, and so that's how we work in the kitchen. We have our rhythm now in there. So yeah, that was the only thing I had to really get used to, because otherwise, even though it was a sheltered life, it was more of a responsible. I was responsible for myself. Yeah, it's just like the food aspect I was taken care of.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have a really good partnership, though. Like, even if yeah, it sounds amazing. Like, because you guys wasn't even dating for a long time, but even though your lives have come together, it's kind of just like fitted in together in the right spots, like a jigsaw puzzle kind of thing, which is amazing. Do you have you guys talked about future plans and stuff like that, or was like when were you doing those things when you were in your long distance times, or like how did that kind of fit in together? How did it all piece together, kind of?
Yeah, I think we've always been discussing future plans ever since the beginning, because that's the basis, right? Do you want to have kids? Do you want to, do is this the kind of stuff that you want in your future? That's the kind of decisions that you base your marriage decision on, right? Only would you get together with a kind of person who has the same idea of a future as you. So yeah, for us, those were, well, the future based scenarios were quite important, but we didn't take it too far. It was just like kids, finances, and yeah, basically those kind of things were what was important from a future perspective. You plan too much because it's not going to work out, so you don't plan too much of it. You just get the basics. There's no point in dating someone who doesn't want to have kids in the future. There's I feel like I need to be with someone who has that kind of a same financial mentality like I do, like, saving and things like that is very important to me. And so Justin fit all of those basic criteria that I had. And so we got along on those aspects. But yeah, we discussed our future from the very beginning. And, as and when I think we've evolved on those plans after we've gotten married, and there's more practicality to the futuristic thinking.
Yeah, so when we started talking, we were like, so it's more of you're scraping the top part of it, just like getting an idea of what the person is, or like what the person's or what your thoughts are about and what the other person's thought is. But once you start settling in life, it gradually takes another step. So you develop that plan. So yeah, what answer it's different. So it's important to communicate, but you won't be able to communicate the whole thing when you are you can communicate. So yeah, but then it works out, and mostly what you plan is not what works sometimes. So you just have to believe in God and take the
And for us, God has been the major, the only factor. I always think that me and Justin, we don't have a lot of things in common. Like we don't have the same taste in books or the same taste in music or movies or sports and things like that. We're very, very different people. And I used to think this to myself that, oh my God, we have nothing in common. We have nothing in common. And then, there's this voice inside my head that said, you stupid girl, you don't think enough, because you have God in common. And, both of us have that same similar importance that we give to God in our lives, and nothing beats that. Everything else can take a place second fiddle to God. So that is the most important thing for us, and that's what keeps us together. So,
That's amazing. It sounds like you guys had like your core values sorted, and you guys knew what your core values were and kind of stuck with it. And it's from what I'm hearing, it sounds like God was one of those values, and so was your idea on planning and
strategizing and finance, all those things were kind of like things that you both felt like you needed in a partner. But all the other things, the little things, they're kind of like, okay, those are I can watch my movie one week and next week we watch his movie kind of
Which is
thing.
what we do. Which is what we do. And I think we've been single for a while. Like we dated for a while. I had seen enough people that I don't want to be with
Mm.
to make me realize that who I actually would want to be with and what are the things that I'm willing to compromise. So I came to the decision that I was always hell bent on marrying a guy who was born and brought up in the same city that I was in Bombay. I would always think I want to get married to someone who's born and raised in Bombay. And then I realized that what, I don't get along with the boys who are born and raised in Bombay. For some reason, I find something or the other off with them. So I'm not able to get that. And then Justin's born and brought up in Kuwait. Is very different. We have very different upbringings.
Mm.
Even though we have the same Christian, Malayali, the South Indian lifestyle, but our childhoods, our teenage years, everything is very, very different. So yeah, still, like we say, God got us together. So that was the only thing that mattered.
Even I had the same thought like her that
Yeah.
I should like someone in the Middle East now, like so who's gone through the same childhood or same things I've been, so we could discuss more, like maybe the same like movies or books or something like that. But whoever I talk to in that kind of now works out because everyone is different in a way. So it doesn't matter what your background is or what your
You don't have to be twins. You literally, they say like opposites attract. Literally,
so,
like opposites
you
in
just
every
need
way.
what you believe in and what you see important in your life.
Yeah.
And if the other person has that same like example God and family, family values, love for parents and all that. That kind of if that all comes in together, then the rest is just it's just it just works out.
Yeah.
That's what we felt.
Very cool, very cool. Another question I had for you guys was, what would you like advise someone else who has either moved to a new country or like completely uprooted their life for their partner? How do you, from like both sides, from Anna's side, like how do you mentally prepare for it? And from Justin's side, how do you like maybe physically or mentally prepare for that for the other person to feel comfortable?
Mentally prepare for it. I don't, mentally, I think you just have to be ready to be open to accept whatever comes your way, because if you think that only XYZ scenarios are possible, I think that's not going to help, especially for someone like me. I had to be really broad-minded in that aspect, that I had to be ready to take up whatever came my way, and it did happen because I didn't get a job immediately, and it really messed with my head that because it was never the case. I've never not worked from when I graduated to when I got married and moved here. I have always been working. So for me to be out of a job seemed like the most unsettling experience. That said, personally, I felt very settled. Like I said, I felt very anchored when I was living with Justin. When I am living with Justin, I feel very anchored. But professionally, that was not a great experience for me. So I just had to be very open and patient. That hope and pray that a job would work out. So I think you just have to be really optimistic and patient for and know that if you're with the right person, your life is going to eventually pan out. You're eventually going to get a job. Everything's going to work out. You just need to keep doing whatever you're doing and, pray to God. And He's going to take care of everything for you.
I would say, yeah, same, like patience. You need to be patient because for you, for me, it was the same place and all, but for her to get used to the climate, the place, it would take time. So I wouldn't push her into everything. I would give her the time and patience to work it out and take it slowly rather than me pushing more. So because she had to get used to it because I know especially the weather in UK. It was good that she came in summer and get used to the weather and before the actual cold started in. So you need to be patient with the person and just you need to give time for the person to like for her I like to just get in sync with the time and with all. So it took time. So it's just that just be you and you let your partner be her, and then you guys just work it out and you just can kind of fall in place. So that's what I think.
Yeah, Dustin's really taken that effort to make sure that that I'm always feeling to the best of my abilities, because he's always like, "What are you thinking now?" He's always trying to get into my head. Sometimes I just tell him, my thoughts just don't want to be aired right now, but he's always trying to find out how I'm feeling, is something bothering me? And so he's really taken that effort to make it as comfortable as possible that he possibly can to his abilities. Yeah, he's really done that. So that's just made a world of a difference. So he's not really sprung things on me like, okay, you go figure. No, none of that. It's just like, okay, let me do this for you. And so there's been a lot of pampering, but I've also gotten really used to it. But yeah, he's really gone the extra mile to make sure that I'm okay and that I've settled in.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Well done, Justin.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think it is that balance. You guys have that perfect balance of being patient, but being open and being just accepting of each other and just kind of going with the flow, learning how to learn. Like, because you guys realize it's not just about now, it's about forever. And you have forever to figure it out. So let's just keep on going with
it. There's difference of opinions and everything, but at the end of the day, you're looking for companionship because we've been alone for too long. So we know that what we want is to have a companion in our life, to have a friend, someone that you build along with, you grow with them also. So we try to build each other up. We do have arguments, but it's it's more about having that one person back home, someone that you can call yours. And so your person.
Yeah. Very cool. Very, very cool. And you guys, you already, like, your families knew each other already. So how was the initial meeting with both your parents?
Yeah, actually, we had common relatives. So my cousin was actually his mom's cousin and things like that.
We didn't know this.
We didn't know this. We had no idea.
I never knew. And so what happened was once when I told my mom that so there's this person we met on the matrimonial side, and I started kind of talking and I think we are okay with each other. So I told my mom about it. My mom, our parents, especially my parents, they are good at finding about the other family and find. So she had her friends and her relatives who she told and found, and
they found links to my family and turned out that we are mutual relatives. And so they really catalyzed the whole thing. They're like, oh yeah, we know both the families. Why don't we try to? So that really worked for us, and that helped to get both of our families comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
So think they really played a very, very important role to make sure that there was real awkwardness, because when two families meet, things are a bit, especially since, both of us don't know each other so well. We've only been talking for 3 or 4 weeks when we met. So,
And I went down to India.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, it was quite like everyone knew everyone, because, because of the common address took care of a lot of things for us. They made sure that both the families would be really comfortable. So yeah, that really worked in our favor. So yeah, that helped. And our parents have, been quite supportive of the whole thing.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And was there any? There probably wasn't any tension or anything between the families because they were all with each other. So.
If anyone, they were more pro than us.
Yeah, they're like, you need to finalize the date. You can't.
Let's pick the date right now.
Yeah, we have to tell all our relatives and our cousins. We have to invite everyone, so you need to pick the date.
Yeah, this is very different from what you would probably hear.
Yeah, we were like, no, give us time. No, you can't. We can't give you so much of time. Either you guys tell us a date, so we have to arrange for the wedding and call the relatives. So we have to finalize on a date, kind of.
Yeah, so that was different for us.
Yeah.
We didn't have to like break the ice with our parents and ask them for or introduce them to each other or anything like that. It was just, it was all put in place for us. We didn't have to do that kind of hard work. We had that kind of hard work to do.
Yeah.
And weddings or
Yeah.
It was different. Thank God she was in Bombay, so
we got married in Bombay.
Okay. So would it have been that way if you had lived in the same country? Would it be in the girls where the girl is?
Usually it's in the boys' side of the wherever they live. That's where the wedding is.
But in my case, it was different because I was here and my parents were in Kuwait.
And I wanted to get married in Bombay. So
I let her.
Nice compromise.
Yeah. So it all worked out like that.
That's so good. That's so good. So we're going to come up to the end of the podcast now. So at the whole thing about the podcast is learning to be open, vulnerable, and empathetic. What do you think long distance taught you about being open, vulnerable, and empathetic?
Long distance taught me to be open, sure, because I feel like there's only so much that you can communicate when you're in a long distance relationship. So you've got to be as open as possible, because especially for us, we were getting married in 6 months. So we had to use that time to the best of our, whatever we had been given. So also vulnerable. It takes a while to be, it depends on the kind of person that you are. I was not okay being vulnerable. It takes me some time to get to really be attached to someone. So for me, that happened only once I moved here. So I was still trying to I guess it was a bit different for us because we got married much sooner. But I think long distance is a tricky thing. You just have to you've got to meet up in between, if that gives you some peace of mind. But especially when you're in different time zones, for us, it wasn't working very well.
Yeah.
We were just barely, we were just communicating. We were just talking of how we felt. And, it was more logistical because we were taking care of the wedding as well. So, but the real relationship for us began only once we moved in together. So I don't know if I have any real advice for long distance relationships. How about you?
So in case of long relation, for me it was more about making the time and trying to talk when you get the time to talk, because you're not seeing the person face to face. So
Yeah.
the only communication we are having is through phone or through video, or so that you get whenever you have some time, try to get that effort. Just put a message in, or get a call, and if you can. So if the other when the other person is free, so that you are still trying to make some efforts in the relationship, so that it's that if both the people didn't want to communicate, that wouldn't last. So you said it is one side, or me or her, we both. So she used to keep on messaging me when she's having lunch break. She would text me, and that time I'll be working, so I'll just say, "Oh, I'm working. I'm sorry," but
you're not just thinking about the other person. I guess
at least
matters.
So you're, even if you're not physically with the person, you are actually trying to be mentally with the person wherever they are, so that you know what is happening with the person, or you're not like totally out of sight. Like you need to be there. The communication should be there. That's what I thought, because even though I never felt like, even the 6 months I never couldn't find like time where we don't know what we both were up to. We knew what we were up to from morning to night. Still, we went to sleep. We knew what we were up to, and we used to talk about our day, how it went, what all she did through her day, and I did through her day. And then when I finished work, she was going to bed, so we would get that half an hour to 45 minutes, like a debrief, how our day was and all that. So that kind of helped, and it became a ritual, routine. Then it kind of become a routine, and kind of stuck. I mean, she had to go for her friend's wedding. I was remember there was time when she had to go for her friend's wedding, and then it was in the night, and she had to travel. She had to take a taxi from one of the places from there to, and it was like a night trip, and she was scared.
I was scared because it's not a very safe.
So and it was like 2 in the night or 1 in the night here in UK. We talked to each other, so that I was sure that she is safe, and she reached safely wherever she had to go. So we kept on talking. So you have to give a little bit. You have to sacrifice a little. You can't sacrifice a little bit of time and sleep, but kind of works out. So it is.
Yeah, that really helped me. That was I forgot about the incident. He stayed awake way past midnight just to make sure that I was okay and that I reached the airport okay, because I was early morning in India then, and I was not happy about the circumstances that I was in, and he understood that, and he stayed awake just to make sure that I reached the airport safely. So that really helped me. Although physically it wasn't helpful if anything happened, but mentally I felt really good that I have someone with me. So that really helped. Making those kind of sacrifices, time, especially when you're on different time zones.
And be truthful about what is happening. You should be very truthful, like, because you can't see each other, so you just need to be truthful, and you need to believe that the person is right. Honest.
Honest communication. How you feel, what you're going through, because when you start living together, it shouldn't be like, it is going to be a bit different, but it shouldn't be like a shocking difference to who you are, because your thoughts are not going to be as different. Try to show your true self no matter what, because in the long term, that's what you are. At the end of the day, when we're sitting together and we're married and it's locked down and you have nowhere else to go to, you have nothing but your true selves to show, right? And you have to be comfortable under your own skin. So just be yourself, I guess.
That's amazing.
And trust in God, and He's going to get the right person in front of you.
Very good, guys. Thank you so much for coming on, and I'll probably have you guys back on again, because I feel like you guys' story is just magical and very, like, it's got so many layers to it and so many exciting parts to it, but it's just such a beautiful love story that I think not many people hear about, like different types of love stories, and like you guys have completely different, but it worked for you guys and it works so well. So I might have you guys back on later on, but thank you so much for coming on and being a part of the podcast.
Having us. Yeah.
No worries. But thank you so much for joining us, and I'll speak to you guys soon.